Welcome back to the show. This is the second part of today's episode revolving around the Manchester United and Liverpool game, which ended 2-1 today. As you can see, I've got my special guest back, Martin Turner. If you saw the first episode, you will have already met him. Initial reactions?
Not that hard to take, really. Pretty much a tight game as we thought it would be. Not too many clear-cut chances for either side. Mistakes, I think, kind of dictated the game. They dictated the chances. All in all, I think we maybe deserved a point, Liverpool, but fair result. I'm not arguing with it.
I have to agree with you. Yeah, all three goals were really mistakes. The first goal, Aga, Van Persie's a left-footed player. He was marking the wrong side. The second one, Evra, nobody marking him. He scored 5 goals this season. He's kind of someone you should be marking. Second goal was a Man United defensive error. Well, it was De Gea. He could have done more. But yeah, I predicted in the first part of the episode 2-1, so I got it spot on. You guessed us 2-2. Some could have said we deserved a point. I'd say United win, probably a fair result, but I'm fairly happy with the performance. So let's move on to the meat of the episode. Let's take a look at the first half. Poor. We were absolutely atrocious. We did not turn up. We may as well have just stayed in bed. Joe Allen, a particular sour point. I've got nothing against that. I think I've written a blog praising him. Today wasn't his day, but if you can have a bad day, don't let it be against United at Old Trafford.
Everyone has a bad day. I know. Everyone has a bad day though.
It was it 1-0, 2-0 in the first half. Man United fully deserved it. We were nowhere. We were nowhere near it.
I think the first half it was one of those performances where you just look at it and you think what more could have gone wrong, really. It's like everything we did kind of seemed to just turn to nothing. One shot in the first half that I can remember, and that was Suarez when he cut past the defender and shot. Like he was there, the goal was there. He went straight over and he went out for a throw-in. That was the only activity I think we had. We just passed it, meaningless passes. I think passes to nobody in particular that seemed to go away when instead of going direct forward, I know we'll pass that way, but intercepted, pass that way, intercepted, tackled. Nothing seemed to go right for us in that first half. I mean, United just looked brilliant. Van Persie's first goal, as we said, it could be an Aga mistake, but I'll say the finish, take anyway from the finish, lovely side-footed finish. Reina just couldn't get down quick enough, which from a standing position is quite hard to get straight down to the side, so no argues there. I say, it was just a bad day at the office in that first half.
It was a horrendous day at the office. What can I say? I'll tell you what, Glenn Johnson was a highlight of the first half.
Yeah, it was.
If the game was decided, if the man of the match was picked in the first half, I think Glenn Johnson, even though we were losing, he was...
He seemed to be the most committed to the cause, making the runs, making the tackles. He just seemed to be the one that, wanted things to go our way when no one else, like Suarez up front, you might argue he had no service. He didn't get the balls through as he wanted to, but a player of his quality, and you don't just stand there and wait for things to happen. You make things happen yourself. Second half, he showed he can do that, but first half, he just known. I think Glenn Johnson was the only one he wanted to know. I think though that I've got to give a bit of a kudos out to Pepe Reina for after that collision with Kagawa in the 44th minute, carried on.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a heavy collision.
I thought it was going to be subbed.
Yeah. So Brad Jones warming up. I thought he did well there to carry on.
Yeah. Well, that's the first half. I don't want to dwell too long on the first half. I'm sure Man United, if there's any Man United bloggers out there, maybe they'll be spending a lot of time on the first half, but I don't want to. We were poor. Let's leave it at that. So the second half.
Much improved. I think until the goal came anyway, which again could have been better. Could have been better defended. I think Raheem Sterling was on over at the start. Then it switched to Glenn Johnson, nowhere near, and there was 2 of them unmarked. So Evra came in, bang, headed it. Vidic, offside, doesn't really matter really, does it? At the end of the day, it's one of those strokes luck that we had last week against Mansfield, so it doesn't really matter if it was offside or not. 2-0, game looked dead and buried, but then, you know, a few inspired substitutions. I have to say, Brendan Rodgers got it spot on with his subs today. Lucas, who'd been yellow carded, more defensive player off. Daniel Sturridge on. I have to say as well, Fabio Barini on. He looked good today, Barini. I really think he's got a part to play. He came on for Sterling. Was it Sterling, wasn't it? Yeah, he came on for Sterling. Looked good, and then Henderson on for Allen, who didn't have his best game. Improved in the second half. Joe Allen, I think he looked a bit more. He had a bit more nous about him in that second half. But again, off for Henderson, more of an attacking player, did well. And the goal as well. I have to say the goal. I think it was really well worked. Good work by Stevie to get the ball back. Good shot. De Gea spilled it. Sturridge, poacher's goal, as we were talking about Hernandez in the build-up.
Exactly, yeah.
He did the Hernandez job. I want to speak and say about Hernandez. It was good not to see him today. He could have inflicted more misery on us. But,
yeah. If you caught the first part of the episode, we had a section where we were talking about key players. Mine was Hernandez. And I couldn't believe he didn't start. And Welbeck, who was absolutely shocking. He was. I'll mention it later about how he got man of the match, mysteriously. I'm not sure if Gary Neville being the one that chose the man of the match had anything to do with it, but Welbeck wasn't there. He didn't. You know, he took a couple of shots, but they were all over the place.
And then he fell on his arse as he was going for as he made the breakthrough. That was quite a funny moment. He just went right over. I don't know what he did to get it, but that's for later on. In the second half, though, it was a much, much better performance. He looked like the Liverpool that we wanted to see. Everyone looked committed. Suarez was tracking back, making tackles. I mean, there was one tackle that he did. I think it was on Valencia, when he won the ball back. Superb tackle, like a proper defender's tackle. That looked brilliant. And then carried on with it. Sturridge, though, gotta say, game changer. Absolutely brilliant when he came on. Rattled the United defence. They didn't know if he was on the left, if he was on the right, if he was in the middle. He didn't know where he was.
He had a lot of space,
he had a lot more room to manoeuvre than United would have given him should he have started. But no, I think he was brilliant, Sturridge. I really think he's got a bright future in the red shirt.
Well, my thoughts are more or less like probably. Well, we were talking. You talked to your friend Andy, who was listening to that football radio station, about a lot of fans who were calling in at full time being negative about the whole team. I can understand how they can be negative after the first half, but to be negative after the game, maybe they were watching a different Liverpool Man United game, because first half was diabolical, but second half we were we were. I think 2-1 was a fair result, but second half we were all over them. We showed that if you come. First half we showed if you go to Old Trafford and defending, you're going to get beat. If you go to Old Trafford, try to, catch them out a bit and try and attacking, it could work. We had them on the back foot.
Yeah, I mean, that's just showing in the stats. I mean, the shots wise, if you look at the first half, we had literally one shot on goal. It wasn't just a shot in general. And in the end, we had 10. We had 9 in the second half. They had the better accuracy, 5 on. We only had 3, but we were making the efforts. I think on the possession as well, overall possession 54%. I think that just shows what a commitment we had in the second half of the game.
Well, what we'll do now is we'll get a picture of the stats up on the screen, and we'll go through them so we can look. We're talking about the first half and the second half, but let's look at the game as a whole, because it's a game of two halves.
Yeah, indeed.
To coin a phrase. So there's no point looking at them individually. It's what happens after 90 minutes that counts. So let's take a look at those stats.
As I alluded to before, I think the shots were a lot better in the second half. Getting 9 off in the second half as opposed to only the first half where we only had the 1. The accuracy could have been better. 33% of those being on target with 3 out of 10. Ronnie, your take on that? Do you think we could have been more clinical?
Well, looking at these stats now, you can see, shots on target, shots off target quite even. 3 and 7, 5 and 5, both add up to 10. Block shots, they've had a bit more corners. The fouls were quite even, but the most interesting stat I can see here is, we've gone to Old Trafford and we've come away with the most possession. Not only that, their territorial advantage is higher. So by looking at our stats, we've had the ball the most, and when they've had the ball, they've been in their own territory. So they, these stats are showing overall in the game they were on the back foot. So these are the kind of things. These are the kind of positives we need to take.
Yeah.
We've gone to Old Trafford. We may have lost, but we've given them a game here. Some of they're not gonna go home and think, oh, we Liverpool came to Old Trafford, we thrashed them. No, they were lucky to win. We were slightly unlucky to lose. But these stats, there's a lot to take away from them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, looking at another one like the tackle success, 83.9% compared to their 60%. I mean, that's just an example of how dogged we were at them in the second half. Brendan Rodgers said when he first came in, he wants if we lose the ball, try to get him out within 6 seconds. First half, I think I said to you during the game, where's the 6-second rule here? And then they went and scored when they had that possession. Second half, there was a lot more of that closing down. I think Gerrard for the goal, for example, closing down one of the defenders, and he had the shot, and then Sturridge scored. I think there was a lot more determination that second half, and I think that's reflected in the tackle success as well as the passing as well. Only marginally beat them on passing, but 85% compared to their 82%. First half they would have probably battered us on that stat as well as everything else. Second half, I think we really picked it up.
But yeah, it is a game of 2 halves. So these are the overall stats. If we looked at the first half stats, they wouldn't be very pleasurable. If we looked at only the second half stats, would have been a bit lopsided. But pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. I think people are going to say there's only one stat that matters, and that's the final score, which is in a way is true. But I think for a team that's rebuilding, such as ours, a team that's trying to get a run together, trying to get some performance together and some consistency together, I think it's a massive, massive thing to take away. The fact that we went to Old Trafford, one of the most intimidating grounds, and had the most.
So we've looked at the game now in quite depth, but overall, what are our thoughts? What can we take from this? I mean, it was a loss, but there's a lot of positives.
Yeah, definitely. I think the performance from Sturridge. I thought he was absolutely. I think he was a game changer today. If I'm going to use one word, it'd be game changer. Came on, the United players didn't know where he was, didn't know what he was doing, but yeah, he looked really good today. I think the whole confidence in the team in the second half, the way they just went there and started playing the normal game, I think that was really good as well. I also think the way we made Robin van Persie, arguably one of the best strikers in the world, arguably the best in England, he was anonymous second half. We definitely been subbed off.
Other than that goal, what did he do exactly? My thoughts are, a first half performance like that, we can't do that again. We can't, even clubs at the bottom of the table, if we perform like that, they're going to punish us. United did punish us today. The second half performance, we're not expecting us to do that 90 minutes, but 70, 80, but not 45. I think we can't perform like that in the first half again.
No.
The second half performance, wow. I mean, we could have beaten anyone on that performance. It was superb, but it was really disappointing that it took so long to get it. But at the same time, Daniel Sturridge, what a performance! Probably my Liverpool man of the match.
Yeah, agreed.
2 goals, 2 games. People say no, it was only Mansfield. He's now scored against United.
And they can't say it's only United now, can they? Really?
No.
That
was great. I mean, Suarez no longer isolated. You could see it was a bit patchy at times, the passing between them two, but the first part
they did link up quite well. I think there's massive potential there for those two to link up.
And Barini, we've gone from struggling strikers to all of a sudden we had 3 on the pitch.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think Barini came on. He looked good today as well. I was impressed with him. He had a good work ethic today as well. I think though regarding the Van Persie situation and how anonymous he was, I think that was partly down to the subs United made. Apart from Ashley Young going off because due to a slight injury, I think the subs were all defensive. Phil Jones brought on, Chris Smalling brought on. None of them attacking subs, so obviously United are trying to concentrate more at the back than Van Persie up front. So he's isolated. He was basically like Suarez was in the first half. Isolated up front on his own, apart from that one chance near the end where he backheeled it and Reina had to make the save. Apart from that, I didn't know he was on the pitch.
So really, to conclude, congratulations to Man United. They deserved the 3 points. We didn't turn up in the first half. It was a great game. It was a great game. I really enjoyed that game. We lost. I'm sure it was a great game for the neutrals as well. So that concludes this episode, and both parts now are finished. So thank you for watching. If you've got your own thoughts about the game, if you disagree, if you agree, just pop them into the comment section or send either me or Martin a tweet. I will try to respond, and hopefully we'll be staying in tune for my next episode. May feature Martin as well. So thank you for watching.
Thank you.